Let's get into the story. We have this one from Timcast. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul fire back at Fauci over smug claim that he represents science. It's not the first time Fauci has done this. And at what point do regular people just say, yo, this guy's kind of an ego maniac?
Yes.
He's like, I'm the science. Okay, well, from Timcast.com, in an interview with Face the Nation over the weekend, Fauci said, they're really criticizing science because I represent science. That's dangerous. My favorite thing about the current state of the modern left is the we believe in science people. And it's like, you know, I think, Luke, you have a shirt that says that.
Yes.
If you question it, it's science. If you can't, it's propaganda.
Exactly.
And that's it right there. Concise and to the point. Science is literally questionable. Science is literally to be criticized. If someone comes out and says, I'm a scientist, I say, okay. And they go, you can't criticize me. And I'll say, then you're not a scientist. Because scientists actually welcome challenges to their ideas to try and better understand things. Fauci is not that. Responding to Fauci's claim on Twitter, Senator Paul wrote, the absolute hubris of someone claiming they represent science. It's astounding and alarming that a public health bureaucrat would even think to claim such a thing, especially one who has worked so hard to ignore the science of natural immunity. Well, I'll tell you this. Fauci does represent science. Not all science, but he certainly represents gain-of-function research, reckless and unethical and amoral experimentation to make chimeric COVID, SARS viruses, not COVID specifically.
Well, no, he changed the definition of gain-of-function, so
Yes.
because he is science.
Yeah, so
he is
did,
science,
yeah,
so
yeah.
he changed the definition of gain-of-function. So now it's not gain-of-function because he says so.
That would be like a funny, cartoon where it's like the first humans discover science. They're digging in a hole and they find like a book, and then all of a sudden, once they come to the realization of science, Fauci just manifests in midair, and he's like, "I am born. I am science."
Yeah,
and now, like, we don't realize he's actually like a 50,000-year-old
Yeah.
manifestation of science itself, and we're criticizing him. How dare
There
we?
we, yeah. That makes sense.
But it's crazy. I mean, his comments talking about how he's science, how he represents everything that has to do with science, and people who criticize him are creating damage to society by criticizing him and science. I mean, are you kidding me? What kind of egomaniac do you have to be to say anyone holding me accountable, anyone criticizing me of my decisions is harming everyone else? That's an absolutely just totally insane thought that people shouldn't have, and it's because he's been glorified. He has so much smoke up his family-friendly show, Tookus,
Yeah, there you go.
that I'm surprised he's not flying in midair. I mean, this man had the mainstream corporate media adore him, and he's only doing interviews with people who don't question him, people who adore him, people who, of course, live off every word like it's gospel. And he also brought up January 6th, which was interesting because he said, oh, Ted Cruz wants me arrested. And then he said, oh, yeah, what about January 6th? And he made this weird slithering mouth tongue tape
What?
thing.
Yeah, he did a weird. Yeah, he did.
That's
I released a
weird.
video of that just on replay
look at that.
10 times because it's just so awkward and weird with him getting so giddy about the idea of January 6th.
No, it was it was desperation.
Yeah.
So he gets asked by the interviewer. She's like, Ted Cruz says you should be prosecuted. He goes, oh, I should be prosecuted. Senator, tell me about January 6th. And I was watching that and I was like, oh, what about it? Like Ted Cruz was sitting in the chambers, apparently being threatened by an angry mob. So are you saying other people were threatening Ted Cruz? Because Ted Cruz was in there, talking, and then had to be evacuated with everybody else. Was that it? Is that Fauci's play? Trump and January 6th. It's like, yeah, I don't think Ted Cruz had anything to do with that. So your point?
Yeah. But let's not forget, this man also lied about so many aspects of what was happening here. He changed his mind. He keeps continuing to flip-flop without any dose of kind of reality of saying, hey, I made a mistake here. Has he ever done that? Has he ever came out and said, hey, I was wrong before. This is my admission. I haven't seen one. He hasn't been talking about a lot of the other important stuff that a lot of other medical professionals have been talking about all around the world. So